Well, welcome back everybody to Stoke Tutorials. I actually probably should be saying welcome back to myself because I took off a couple weeks. I was sick a couple weeks, and then things kind of got busy with just my life. So, sorry, but I am back, and we're doing the third installment of drawing head proportions. This was the first week, which was just the front facial proportions. This one was the second week. This was the three-quarter view, or the slightly turned head proportion. And today we'll be doing the profile, or the complete side proportions. So we'll also only be doing this head and this head, or this one and this one. And I'm going to leave this one, the round-headed one, because I think I'm gonna change my views on how to do a person in with a round head. Maybe the only one that actually has to change the proportions, that can't fit into the proportions I gave for these ones, because I tried some other stuff and realized it kind of looked better the way I'm doing it. So I'm going to do a short video on how to do a round-headed person more correctly, and hopefully you guys like that. But if not, if you like this one better, then you use the proportions for this one. But for today, I'm just going to be doing this one and that one. So like the more square head and the more regular head. Alright, well, let's get started. Alright, we're going to start with the regular egg shape or oval shape. Just like that. We should try drawing a bit darker. Ooh, that's no good. Back up. Okay, draw a line straight down the center and across. So draw a line down the center of this, vertically, and then halfway between the top and the bottom, draw another line horizontally, and then you put a dot in the center. And now we're going to actually take the head and rotate it the entire way around. So because this is a profile view. So this is still the bottom of the head. This is the top. And now we do like we did before, and we measure, because this would be like our new point. So we measure there to there. We add it to this side, like that. So that's how much head will be added onto the back. So like that. So you can draw like a slightly rounded line onto the front to start it out. And then remember that this right here would be like the jaw line. And so halfway between the bottom and this line, so right around there, that's where the nose line is. So we'll drag that over there. And then halfway between here and here is like right there, but you need to pull it up a little bit for the mouth. So right about there. Okay. So this is where your mouth is, the opening of your mouth. This is where the bottom of your nose is. This is like the bridge of the mouth, or the bridge of the nose, or no, what would you call that? I don't know, I've been calling it the bridge. So anyway, this is how I draw. So you bring the nose, and it depends on what kind of nose you're drawing for each character. But since we're drawing the character from the middle, he has like a straight nose, at least that's what I'm imagining. And so then this lip, the top lip, actually sits out further than the bottom lip. And then remember that the angle of the jawline is in line with the mouth usually. Usually, remember that. Then the nose, or the bottom of the ear is usually with the bottom of the nose. It's right there. And then right about here is where the top of the ear is. So there you go. And then this is the eye line. And remember, it's your preference, but I usually draw the eye in the middle of the eye line. Some people draw it above, some people draw it below the eye line. And it all depends. I think the more age there is on a character, or the older the character is, the eyes are usually above the line, and the younger the character is, the eyes would maybe be below. So just play around with that. Maybe if you have your character, you know what you want. And so always make sure you set the eye back far enough. If you put it too close, it looks dumb. If you put it back too far, it looks really bad. So maybe it's almost like an eye width, like so from here to here, leave about that space in front of the eye, between the bridge and the eyeball. Also remember that you have like the nose. You would normally, I'm not going to draw it usually with a finished piece, but you have the nose here, the nostril, and so the eye would have to be set behind that, because it would usually be like a cheek. But in manga you don't really draw that, so I don't. Okay, and remember this comes back here for the neck. There you go. Well, maybe I should do. Remember the between like the eyebrow and the top, in the middle of that is where your hairline usually is. Now our guy here has big bangs. This guy's actually almost similar to a character that's in my comic book. His name's Aaron. He is the Prince of Cavalli. We'll do that. Okey-doke, let's move on to some black. I'm using just a black Prismacolor, but obviously when you do a manga, most people would use a sort of some kind of pen, either like a G pen, or I use Pigma Microns, Sakura Pigma Microns. Okay, now we're going to start the square-headed or rectangle-headed guy. So we'll start with the rectangle shape. Draw the line down the center, and then center that way. And so we're going to go the whole way, just like we did with the last guy. The whole distance, and that distance is sorry, I'm moving around some papers, but I'm trying to pull out a picture of my last one so I can really see him. Okay. So this new line, what we measured between here and here, this is going out to the back of the head, so that adds on how much head you're going to put in there. Okay. And this guy is much meatier than the other guy. And his nose is more like, let's make sure we, between and right there. So this is about where the bottom of the nose is. Now see, with this guy I'm trying to make everything a little bit more blocky, edge-like, where I didn't do that with the other guy. Also, I'm going to want to maybe drop down his mouth here a little bit more, because he's kind of like ape-like or something, like you're trying to like make him look as much like a blockhead or a meathead or something. I don't know what the term could be, but and also remember we tried to keep this guy's ears smaller. Helps to make him seem a bit more, move his ear down a little bit. I'm going to make his head slope back a little bit more. So you start to see a little bit more shape than just like the square, but it's still there. And this guy's got his receding hairline. Big eyebrows. Remember that when you're drawing a guy's hairline, it like loops up over the ear back here. So that's how it comes out. Remember, this guy is so beefy. He's got a big neck. I'm still kind of thinking this out while I'm drawing it too. How big I want his neck and how big things, or how much things transfer. Alright, I think it's pretty good. You notice this line got a little bit darker than I wanted to, but I wanted it to be a little bit thicker because it's underneath. Just like this line here could be a little bit thicker than the top one, but obviously it's not getting that. It's clear because I'm using these pencils, but those are things you can think of. The lines that are underneath. So like underneath his nose, this could be a little bit thicker than the lines up here, because like when the sun hits it or the light hits it, then this becomes the lightest area, and then whatever underneath kind of carries the shadow, and so that gives you a kind of like the appearance of shadow or shade without actually doing it. It's a pretty cool technique. The same thing with the back of this ear. If the sun's coming this way, then you can add a little bit more here. Another thing that I usually do, so say this light's coming here, you can put like that would be the shadow, and then you can use your hatching. So it doesn't look quite as nice with these pencils, but those are things I might show you later on, show you guys, and hopefully you enjoy them. I'll keep it going for now, and hope you guys like it. If you'll allow me, I will plug my comic book real quick, and then we'll see you next time. Alright, this is my comic, Legend of the King, Chios Chronicles. This is Chios, and he is a 12-year-old boy who is destined to be king. This man, Zora, he's a seer, and he saw that this This is the boy that should be king. And this is the current king, who Kyus has to eventually take his throne. And it's pretty much a battle manga, and it's set in a fantasy world, and the country or the nation that Kyus is going to be ruler of is also under attack from a people with a dark mark on their skin, and it gives them extra powers, abilities, but they're coming against his nation, so he has to face off against the current king and this other evil nation to try and save his people. So this is just the first installment, and this is the first person he fights. His name is Gath. But I'd be very very happy if you guys were able to pick this up and support me in that way. And I know you'll probably enjoy it. It's a fun story, humor, action, drama, all different kinds of things. So, well, thank you guys very much for coming by one more time for another tutorial. I hope it's a helpful tutorial for you guys. And I will see you next time, right here.